Good morning and welcome to the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the latest headlines. Rajya Sabha passes a mental health care bill 2013 with 134 amendments. Attempt to suicide decriminalized, better health care for people suffering from mental illness. RBI's last policy review meeting under Governor Rajan. Interest rate likely to keep static. Mehbooba Mufti appeals to Prime Minister to seize opportunity created by unrest and win hearts of people in Jammu and Kashmir. Meets Home Minister Rajnath Singh in Delhi as death toll in violence so far reaches 55. Activist Ram Sharmila to end her 16-year-old fast, set to enter politics to ensure her demand for repeal of AFSPA is met. And a disappointing day 3 for India at the Olympics. Abhinav Bindra misses medal in final of men's 10 meters air rifle. Men's hockey team loses to Germany after conceding goal in final minutes. Well, the Rajya Sabha has passed the mental health care bill. It seeks to provide better health care to people suffering from mental illnesses. It also seeks to decriminalize suicide. Now, members cutting across party lines called for urgent steps to address the lack of infrastructure and shortage of psychiatrists in the country. The bill was passed unanimously by a voice vote.
यदि मुझे कोई मेंटल प्रॉब्लम होती है तो मुझे किस तरीके से कौन कब कैसे देखेगा, यानी अपने बारे में सिक्योरिटी लेने के लिए कि हमारी ट्रीटमेंट कैसी हो सकती है, ये एडवांस डायरेक्टिव की इसमें व्यवस्था की गई है।
जो सेंसिटिविटी डॉक्टर की चाहिए, जो सेंसिटिविटी सोशल वर्कर्स की चाहिए, जो पेशेंट चाहिए, उसकी बात सुनने की तैयारी चाहिए, उसके साथ में उसके इंटेलिजेंस के साथ में मैच कर सके, ऐसे आदमी उसको काउंसिल कर रहे, उसकी इतनी बड़ी कमी है कि लोग बिल्कुल आम जो पेशेंट होते हैं उसी तरह उनको ट्रीट करते हो।
The burden of mental illness will increase more rapidly in India than over the next 10 years. In India, only about 1 in 10 people with mental health disorders are taught to receive evidence-based treatment.
चाहूँगा जितने भी हमारे हॉस्पिटल्स हैं, जितने भी हमारे इंस्टीट्यूट हैं, वहाँ पे नर्सिंग की ज़रूरत पड़ी, उनको अच्छी तरह केयर करने की ज़रूरत है, तभी जाके हमारे जितने भी मेंटली प्रॉब्लम्स है वो सॉल्व कर पाएगा।
या पागल खाने में पेशेंट के साथ जाने में भी लोग कतराते हैं, तो वो इस तरीके से the district hospitals where all the patients are treated, the mental health treatment will also be done in those district hospitals.
उत्तर प्रदेश में इस तरह के अस्पतालों की संख्या बढ़ाई जाए, डॉक्टरों की संख्या बढ़ाई जाए, डॉक्टरों को भर्ती किया जाए, पैरामेडिकल स्टाफ को भर्ती किया जाए, ताकि जो गांव में गरीब लोग इन बीमारियों से पीड़ित हैं उनको सही समुचित इलाज मिलने का काम करे।
Central government and state governments, they must have adequate mechanism to provide access to the poor people to have mental health.
And the GST bill has been passed by the Lok Sabha. Now, Prime Minister, while participating in the debate over the bill, said that it will end tax terrorism in the country. He also thanked all the opposition parties for ensuring the passage of the bill. Days after clearing the Rajya Sabha hurdle, the crucial tax reform GST bill was cleared by Lok Sabha on Monday. The lower house unanimously passed the 122nd constitutional amendment bill as amended by the upper house. All 443 members present in the House voted in favour of the bill. Thanking all parties for their support, Prime Minister Narendra Modi described GST as a crucial step towards ending tax terrorism, adding that besides reducing corruption and black money, the new regime of indirect taxation will make consumer the king.
GST जो छोटे उत्पादक हैं उनको सुरक्षा की गारंटी देता है और हमारे देश की इकोनॉमी को ड्राइव करने में ये जो छोटे छोटे उद्यमकार है वो एक बहुत बड़ी ताकत है।
While moving the Constitution Amendment Bill, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley said implementation of the goods and services tax will reduce tax evasion and improve ease of doing business by engendering a common market throughout the country.
आप जीएसटी काउंसिल में रखिए और काउंसिल तय करेगी कि किस तरह का डिस्प्यूट रिड्रेसल मैकेनिज्म हमने बनाना है. This the council will decide. Don't hand over this power also to the court. There is going to be additionality of taxes which are going to go into your kitty. The structure is going to change, and therefore this fear that our rates are going to come down after 5 years, I think this is an exaggerated fear which should not really materially impact on us.
The minister further said that the new tax regime will check leakages, increase tax base for centre and states. However, the finance minister ruled out an assurance that the GST legislation will not be brought as a money bill.
There are some 3 boxes: general bill, financial bill and money bill. And I have an option in which one to put it. I have no such option. The Constitution clearly defines which each bill is. The language used in Article 110 is, a bill shall be deemed to be a money bill only if the following conditions are present. It shall be deemed to be. And therefore, we are all bound by the mandate of 110.
Earlier, Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge had demanded that the government should not try to push the GST bill as a money bill. He also said tax rate must be capped at 18%.
ये एटीट्यूड रहने से आज 2 साल से ये अटक पड़ा है और इसकी जिम्मेदारी आपके ऊपर है. आप फिर कांग्रेस को बदनाम मत कीजिए. नेक्स्ट इसको आप बिल लाएंगे, उस वक्त वो एक फाइनेंशियल बिल लाइए, मनी बिल के रूप में मत लाइए.
The bill will now have to be ratified by at least 16 of 29 state assemblies to become a law, as the government intends to implement the goods and services tax from April next year. The government is also targeting to bring the central GST bill and the integrated GST bill in the winter session of Parliament in November. With Pranab Goswami, this is Ravindra Shiran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And let's listen into some more political reactions after the bill was passed unanimously by the Lok Sabha.
We had earlier 3 major differences on the GST. We've worked out the differences. There is one issue, which is the 18% issue, and we feel that that's a very important issue, that there is a cap, because we are worried about inflation resulting from no cap. So that's now a discussion in, I think, December, but I think it's a good step for the country.
It is the BJP delayed for last 3-4 years, and then we had given the suggestion even earlier, but they did not accept it. Now that the bill has come, we never wanted to oppose because we want the GST to come, but there are some consequences like inflationary, and it may affect the common man. Tomorrow the prices will rise. All these things we have highlighted even today.
सभी मुख्यमंत्रियों को, सभी पार्टियों को, सभी पार्टी के नेताओं को और सभी पार्टी के सांसद जो लोकसभा में रह करके इस बिल के पक्ष में वोट किया, सबको हम साधुवाद देना चाहेंगे, धन्यवाद देना चाहेंगे.
जीएसटी बिल जो है बहुत ऐतिहासिक बिल हुआ है. बहुत सालों से राज्यों की और केंद्र की आर्थिक स्थिति में काफ़ी जो है वृद्धि आएगी और देश के सामान्य मानव को भी इसका फायदा होगा.
Now, it has been over a month and curfew and restrictions are still in place in parts of the Kashmir Valley. However, pellet guns is again in spotlight as another protester succumbed to injuries, taking the death toll to 55 ever since the violent protests erupted in the valley after the death of terrorist Burhan Wani. Meanwhile, with no resolution in sight, Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti flew to New Delhi to meet Home Minister Rajnath Singh. Now, faced with difficulties in restoring normalcy in the valley, Mehbooba Mufti said that the process of dialogue with the people of Kashmir can help improve the situation. She also asked Prime Minister Narendra Modi to seize the opportunity created by the unrest to win the hearts of the masses and solve their problems the way Atal Bihari Vajpayee did. She said this is the right time for the government to bridge the gap with people by winning their hearts.
तकरीबन 1 महीना हो गया और 55 लोग मारे गए। तो मुझे लगता है ये हमारे बच्चे हैं, ये हमारे लोग हैं। तो अगर बातचीत करने से जम्मू कश्मीर के हालात सुधर सकते हैं, जम्मू कश्मीर के हालात ठीक हो सकते हैं, हमारे बच्चे वहाँ स्कूल जा सकते हैं, पढ़ सकते हैं, लिख सकते हैं, एक अच्छा माहौल बन सकता है और जम्मू कश्मीर दोनों मुल्क, जो हमारा मुल्क हिंदुस्तान और पाकिस्तान के बीच में एक पुल की शक्ल बन सकता है, बजाय कि जो झगड़े का बायस बना है। मैं समझती हूँ ये जरूरी है।
Meanwhile, the separatist camp has extended the shutdown call in Kashmir till 12th of August and asked people to block all roads around government offices to ensure that no employee is able to join duty. Now, Kashmir has been rocked by violent protests since the death of Hizbul commander Burhan Wani. Wani was killed in an encounter with security forces in Anantnag district on 8th of July. Meanwhile, the Kashmir unrest also echoed in Rajya Sabha with the united opposition urging the government to make sure that this situation is placated and the people of the Kashmir are placated. The opposition members also demanded a discussion in the House and sought the Prime Minister's intervention in the case. However, the use of pellet guns in the valley by the security forces also came under the scanner.
Members across the political spectrum on Monday expressed anguish on the ongoing crisis in Kashmir. Raising the issue during 0 hour, leader of opposition Ghulam Nabi Azad said no state in independent India had seen 30 days of curfew in a row. He urged the Prime Minister to call an all-party meet to deliberate on resolution of the crisis. He also suggested that an all-party delegation should visit the valley to allay fears of the people.
प्रधानमंत्री जी की अध्यक्षता में, उनकी सदारत में दिल्ली में ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग करें और उस ऑल पार्टी मीटिंग में हम अपनी सहानुभूति भी, अपनी हमदर्दी भी और कुछ हल निकालने की कोशिश भी करें और उसके बाद फॉलो अप होना चाहिए कि ऑल पार्टी डेलीगेशन कश्मीर जाना चाहिए।
The JDU and the Samajwadi Party also sought an all-party meet. Meanwhile, CPIM Sitaram Yechuri questioned the use of pellet guns against protesters in Kashmir, while the CPI's D. Rajya demanded withdrawal of the dominating presence of the army from civilian areas.
It's inhuman, it's criminal. Why are we using these pellet guns? I am told that even Israel does not use it against the Palestinians. But in India, we are using it against the Kashmiris. First day we said stop these pellet guns, we were told yes, they'll be stopped, but they have not stopped.
I suggest the government should stop using the pellet guns. Government should withdraw the Armed Forces Special Power Act being implemented in the civilian areas. Government should stop the midnight knocks, dreaded midnight knocks at the doors of civilians.
पूरे देश की तरफ से कोई आदमी बोल सकता तो प्रधानमंत्री है। वो लीडर अपोजिशन जो है गुलाम नबी जी ने कहा, ऐसी शांति और इतना विकट समस्या पर सरकार की तरफ से जो चुप्पी है वो बहुत ही तकलीफ पहुंचाती है।
वहाँ कमेटी एक जरूर जानी चाहिए। राजनाथ जी अकेले गए, अगर यहाँ से कुछ सीनियर मेंबर्स को साथ ले गए होते तो हालात कुछ और होते। वहाँ उनसे कई लोग मिले ही नहीं। अगर हर वर्ग से लोग जाएंगे तो जरूर बात होगी। मैं एक पैलेट गन की मैं भी ये करता हूँ कि हमारे पास और माध्यम हैं।
The government also reiterated its unflinching commitment to bring peace in the valley and said it was willing to discuss the issue in the House.
कश्मीर के लोगों ने बार-बार उन ताकतों को जो ताकतें कि कश्मीर के अमन और शांति को खत्म करना चाहती हैं, नुकसान पहुंचाना चाहती हैं, उनको परास्त किया है, उनको शिकस्त दी है। वैसे हम कश्मीर पर चर्चा कर चुके हैं। ऑनरेबल लीडर ऑफ द हाउस ने उसमें इंटरवीन किया था, होम मिनिस्टर ने उसमें रिप्लाई दी थी, लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी हम अगर आप चाहते हैं तो हम उसमें बात करेंगे।
Kashmir has been rocked by violent protests after Hizbul militant Burhan Wani was killed in an encounter on the 8th of July. A youth who was injured during the clashes on Friday died of his injuries on Monday, taking the death toll to 55. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And Home Minister Rajnath Singh also made a suo motu statement in Parliament on Friday's attack on Assam's Kokrajhar district. An investigation is on to identify the militants responsible for killing 14 people in the attack. The Home Minister also hinted at the role of some external forces abetting the extremists.
Making a suo motu statement in Rajya Sabha, Home Minister Rajnath Singh said the centre has urged the Assam government to hunt down those involved in the attack near Kokrajhar that killed 14 people and bring them to justice.
यह जो घटना हुई है यह बहुत ही दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और मैं सदन को यकीन दिलाना चाहता हूं कि चाहे कोई व्यक्ति होगा अथवा संगठन होगा, हम पूरी ताकत लगाकर यह कोशिश करें कि जो कुछ भी उसने किया है उसका खामियाजा उसे भुगतना पड़े.
Members cutting across party lines expressed grave concern over the incident. Demands were also raised to strengthen the intelligence network and crack down on illegal arms.
इंटेलिजेंस के नेटवर्क को मजबूत करने के लिए आप क्या करेंगे और सीआरपीएफ की आवश्यकता को देखते हुए उसकी बटालियंस को रेज करने के लिए क्या कदम उठाएंगे?
So the main reason is the illegal weapon. My question is whether government is going to take steps, take action to reduce and to ban the illegal weapons in Assam.
Whether the government of India is advising the state government to take appropriate steps for improving the intelligence mechanism together with the central government.
An ex gratia relief of 5 lakh rupees has been provided to the next of kin of those killed, 1 lakh rupees to those seriously injured, and 20,000 rupees to those with simple injuries. In the worst terror attack in the northeastern state of Assam since 2014, gunmen in military fatigues opened fire on Friday at a crowded marketplace in Kokrajhar. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news. Well, after being on fast for the last 16 years demanding the repeal of the Armed Forces Special Powers Act or the AFSPA, Manipur's Iron Lady from the state, Sharmila, is all set to end her fast today morning. The iconic rights activist, who was forcibly fed through a nasal tube since the year 2000 to keep her alive at a prison-turned-hospital, will break her fast at a local court in Imphal. Now, Iram Sharmila announced a decision to end her fast on 26th of July and to enter politics to ensure that AFSPA is repealed through political means.
She needs to build a team around her and start working if she wants to come into politics. And I think it is a little premature for her at this point, without consultation with the larger civil society, to jump into this fray.
I must consider herself as a brave lady on our soil. She has proved her grit. She has proved her mettle and courage in the among the common people of India. And now, if she thinks that the time and the relevance for continuing the fast is over, that is up to her own decision.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch Azadi 70 Yaad Karo Kurbani campaign in Bharbra in Madhya Pradesh. Now, the program is being held at the birthplace of revolutionary leader Chandrasekhar Azad on the anniversary of the Quit India movement. Under the campaign that will last till 14th of August, union ministers will visit places associated with the Indian freedom struggle, especially the birthplaces of martyred leaders. Various other programs in the memory of freedom struggle like Tiranga Yatra, Candle March and Raksha Bandhan Festival would be organized. The BJP also plans to use the occasion to highlight the achievements of the Modi government. In Breakfast News, time to take a very short break. We'll be right back.
Ghatam, one of the oldest and most unique percussion instruments of southern India. You can play it not only with your fingers, but palms, wrists and heels as well. You'll be surprised, but the air inside the Ghatam reverberates, creating the musical notes. 5 elements of nature, earth, water, air, fire and space, make up the composition of this beautiful musical piece, which has found an apt place in most of the ancient books.
Welcome back. Now, the RBI will hold its last policy review meeting under Governor Raghuram Rajan. The expectations are that the interest rate could be kept static as retail inflation continues to be above the comfort zone. Raghuram Rajan, whose 3-year term will come to an end on 4th of September, may prefer that RBI assesses the full impact of monsoon rains before taking a view on the interest rate. The government announced last week that it would like the RBI to focus on maintaining retail inflation rate of 4% for the next 5 years, based on which the new interest rate settling panel would take its monetary policy decisions going forward. Well, Department of Science and Technology Secretary Dr. Ashutosh Sharma flagged off a program named NASA Spaceward Bound India in Delhi. The program will include a field workshop that is scheduled to be held in Ladakh from today to the 21st of this month. Now, the team of 32 scientists, educationists and research scholars from US, UK, Australia, Sweden and Spain, besides India, will conduct the astrobiological experiments by studying how life forms in extreme environments are done. It is an educational program developed by the NASA's Arms Research Center US, and it is organized at different centers of researchers across the world. In India, the Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleosciences, Lucknow, is coordinating this event.
ये सब साइंटिस्ट वहाँ जाकर करीब 10 दिन रहेंगे, गहन शोध करेंगे, अध्ययन करेंगे, उसके बाद सैंपल लेकर आएंगे जिनको यहाँ एनालाइज किया जाएगा। ये बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी है कि बहुत देशों के साइंटिस्ट मिलकर साथ साथ कार्य करें इस महत्वपूर्ण दिशा में।
On to some international news now, and Jamaat-ul-Ahrar, a faction of the Pakistani Taliban, has said that it carried out the bombing at a hospital in the city of Quetta. The death toll from the blast has now risen to 70. The explosion occurred as the body of a prominent lawyer arrived at the hospital after he was killed by the Taliban.
Death toll from the suicide bombing at a hospital in Pakistani city of Quetta has risen to 70, with a faction of the Pakistani Taliban claiming responsibility. The attacker targeted a crowd that had gathered as the body of a prominent lawyer murdered earlier on Monday, Bilal Qasi, was being brought in the hospital. About 120 people were injured. Taliban faction Jamaat-ul-Ahrar said it was behind both the hospital attack and the killing of Qasi. He was shot while on his way to the court complex in Quetta. Witnesses described horrific scenes as survivors scrambled to flee past bodies lying scattered in the smoke-filled corridors.
ऑफिस ड्यूटी के लिए आ रहा था कि मैं जैसे ही अपनी गेट पे पहुंचा तो वहाँ से धमाका हुआ और सब लोग जो थे उसी साइड पे भाग के आ रहे थे। जैसे मैं एंटर हुआ, बाइक को उधर ही छोड़ दिया मैंने, भाग के आया तो यहाँ पे लाशें ही लाशें थे, खून बिखरे हुए थे और जख्मी थे, खून में लथपथ लोग थे।
Pakistani Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and Chief of Army Staff General Raheel Sharif visited the injured at a hospital and held talks with security personnel. Prime Minister Sharif, while expressing deep grief and anguish over the blast, said that no one will be allowed to disturb the peace of the province. The US has also condemned the attack.
पीछे मत हटिए, इनके साथ हम सीना सुपर होकर लड़ेंगे। ये मुट्ठी भर अनासर हैं। भुकला शरीफ शहरी, क्रीम ऑफ द सोसाइटी, किसी को क्या उदियत दिया हमने? हमारा बार का प्रेसिडेंट मारा जाता है, हमारा प्रिंसिपल ऑफ लॉ कॉलेज मारा जाता है, हम खामोश रहे। आज हमारे साथ इस तरह का टेक्निकल गेम खेला गया कि प्रेसिडेंट को मारकर उसको पता था कि सारा बाहर इकट्ठा होगा। हम सारे इकट्ठे हो गए। 3 फुट की मसाफत पर मेरे साथ ब्लास्ट हुआ। खुदा रहा, हिम्मत मत हारें, बलुस्तान का आवाम मुकम्मल आपके साथ है, यकीन करो।
The United States condemns in the strongest terms the terrorist attacks today in Quetta, including the murder of Bilal Anwar Qasi, president of the Baluchistan Bar Association, and the bombing at the civil hospital that killed dozens of Pakistanis and wounded many others. We send our deepest condolences to the loved ones of those killed and injured, and we offer our assistance to Prime Minister Sharif as his government investigates and works to bring these murderers to justice.
Monday's blast was the latest in a string of vicious attacks against lawyers in Balochistan, which is located in southwestern Pakistan near the border with Afghanistan. The Quetta hospital attack was the second deadliest in Pakistan this year. In March, on Easter Sunday, 75 people were killed in a bombing targeting Christians near Bustling Park in Lahore. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's get you some more international news now. Here is the World Wrap. Rebel factions who claim to have made gains in Syrian city of Aleppo have come under intense air bombardment from the pro-government forces. The Syrian government released video showing its planes apparently bombing targets in the southwest of the city. The rebels earlier said that they had broken a week-long government siege of Aleppo. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon urged Argentina and other large nations to ratify the Paris Climate Accord at a Buenos Aires conference. In December 2015, 195 countries reached an agreement in Paris that obligates states to take concrete measures to curb emissions that contribute to climate change. Nearly 100 people were killed in a weekend's protest in Ethiopia as demonstrators clashed with security forces in different parts of the country. Amnesty International says the most deadly incident happened in Bahir Dar, where at least 30 people died on Sunday. Thousands of air passengers around the world were left stranded after a power cut forced the US airline Delta to suspend flights. The incident caused delays across US and in Japan, Italy and the UK. Airport check-in systems, passenger advisory screens and the airline's website and the smartphone apps were affected by the system's failure. And now all the news from Rio Olympic Games. Well, Day 3 is turning out to be a disappointing day for India as they suffer defeats in various events of the competition. Now, India lost its hope for a medal in shooting as former Olympic gold medalist Abhinav Bindra missed out on a bronze by just 0.1 points. Also, both men's and women's hockey suffered a heartbreak in their respective games. Now, Indian shooter Abhinav Bindra missed a medal in the final of the men's 10 meters air rifle event as he finished at the 4th spot. Bindra lost the shoot-off against Ukrainian Serbiy Kulish after both were tied for 3rd place at 163.8 points after 16 shots. Earlier, he had scored 625.7 to book a berth in the finals. Meanwhile, Gagan Narang also crashed out, finishing at a lowly 23rd position in the qualifiers. And India's men's hockey team lost to Germany 1-2, though India played brilliantly to keep the reigning champions Germany to 1-1 till the dying moments. The winning goal came through Christopher Ruher just a few seconds before the hooter. Meanwhile, Indian women's hockey team suffered the first loss at Rio Games after going down 0-3 to Britain in Pool B match. Also, Indian women archers, a disappointing show continued as Lakshmi Rani Majhi crashed out of the competition after she lost to Alexandra Logova of Slovakia in the individual round of 64. Now, Majhi started off her round with a 8-pointer, but she struggled for consistency thereafter. She lost the first 2 sets of her event, drew the third and then lost in the final. Also, Indian swimmers Sachin Prakash and Shivani Katari had to settle with only their heat as they made an early exit from the games. In the women's 200-meter freestyle, Shivani was second in her heats but did not qualify on the basis of other classification points of swimmers from other heats. She finished 28th out of the 29 swimmers. In the men's 200 meters butterfly heats, Sachin clocked 1 minute 59.37 seconds in his heat and he finished 41st amongst the 43 swimmers. Well, let's take a look at some more events that made headlines at the Rio Games. Well, Brazil won their first gold medal at the Rio Games after Rafaela Silva triumphed in the women's 57-kilogram category in judo. Silva defeated world number 1 Sumija Doksurin of Mongolia to delight the home crowd. In tennis, world number 1 Novak Djokovic and his partner Nenad Zimonjic crashed out of the men's doubles event. The pair lost 4-6, 4-6 to the Brazilian pair of Marcelo Melo and Andressa in the second round. Meanwhile, former world number 1 Caroline Wozniacki was also knocked out of the women's singles event. She lost to Czech Republic's Petra Kvitova 6-2, 6-4 in the second round. Now, Australian women beat New Zealand 24-17 to win their first ever Olympic rugby sevens gold medal after Great Britain lost to Canada in the bronze match. And in the overall medals on Day 3, the United States leads the medal tally with 5 golds, 7 silver and 7 bronze. China stood at the second spot with 5 gold, 3 silver and 5 bronze, while Australia takes the third spot with 7 medals. That includes 3 gold and 4 silver. That's all in this edition of news. Thanks for watching.